moment to watch a video reply that was created by Mason Steiner, aka RedScareTV, to my identity politics video, and in it he attempts to prove that I'm wrong in rejecting identity politics. In doing so, he makes several serious errors. For one, he says that yes, there are toxic elements. No, the whole thing is toxic. It's not revolutionary strategy. Are you fighting based on identity, or are you fighting based on revolutionary science? Because you can't do both. These movements are anti-science, anti-revolutionary science. They're not there for liberation. They are there for concessions. You can't pretend that they're revolutionary. That doesn't work. It's not true. And then you say it's, I said that it's first world people give up class struggle, and then you say, no, it's not. And I say, yes, it is. Then why aren't they doing class struggle? Why are they doing the identity politics instead of Marxism? The problem is, Marxists have consistently failed for over 100 years to actually capture the working class in the United States. Okay, they have never ever come close to anything significant. And then because you can't reach the workers don't want anything to do with communists in the United States. Communists end up pandering to these very, very small groups that comprise, what, 2-3% of the population, and try to use that as a basis for bringing everybody else into it. The problem is, they're already not there. Even if you brought every single person from every identity politics, you'd still only end up with like 3% of the population. You need the masses, you need the majority. And those masses have already rejected Marxism. Marxism can't reach them because of the material conditions they're in. If you claim that this is the case, that you can transform these, SJWs, these identity politics people into revolutionaries, please give me something that would demonstrate that to be true. Because it's not. That doesn't happen. That is not how revolutionary science works. You're claiming this, but you can't back it up with anything, because that's not how it works. And then he goes on to quote what is to be done. And therefore, according to his interpretation of Lenin, we have to go into these groups. Pull in non-revolutionary struggles to be over to our side. But they're not going to. Why would the identity politics people come to us, Marxists, when they can get exactly what it is they want, concessions, out of Bernie Sanders? They're not going to come to us. And they're not going to. They haven't. You're pretending that they want revolution when they don't. You can't offer them anything that Bernie Sanders or the Democratic Party can't. They're offering them exactly what they want. You're offering them nothing. You're saying, here, we'll give you better, but you have to risk your life for it, which they're not going to do. They don't want to do that. They want concession. So you're pretending there's a revolutionary potential where there isn't. You're pretending people who are not revolutionary can become revolutionary. You're making an assumption. And again, you would have to prove that concept is true, when reality shows us the opposite. Because they're not building up to outright class struggle. America is not proceeding along a line towards class struggle. It's outright dying. Class means probably about less than it ever has before. Why do you think identity politics is so popular? Because class really doesn't mean that much. Sure, they've got all their lofty statements about the 1%, the rich, and all that, but in the end, it doesn't add up to anything. It doesn't manifest itself in anything whatsoever, other than to vote for Bernie Sanders. You can't pretend there's a revolutionary potential there when there isn't one. It's now worse than it's ever been. People are not willing to fight and die for revolution in this system. They're not going to do that. Things are too comfortable. Now, here's what I mean about blatant opportunism when it comes to identity politics. Okay, let's take the now defunct NCP-LC, the New York Maoists. I once criticized their leader Carlos because he said we shouldn't defend Syria or the DPRK because they're homophobic, transphobic, etc. Okay, source. But anyway, then why does he and his group, his former group, defend Hamas? You don't think Hamas is homophobic or transphobic? They're highly influenced by religion. Of course they are. In fact, Hamas has killed the homosexual Palestinians. What's with the double standard? The problem is that it's easy and popular to support Palestinians. It's not as popular to defend Syria from U.S. imperialism, and it's not popular at all to defend the DPRK from U.S. imperialism. They're just taking something that they know people will like. They're not taking a principled approach. Anti-imperialism is anti-imperialism. You don't have to like the country. You just have to defend their right not to be wiped out by imperialism. That's opportunism. And when I called him out on that, he basically cried rape. So Mason, you're making statements, but not backing them up with anything. You have to demonstrate that what you're saying is true. These people are not revolutionary. There is not one revolutionary ounce in anti-revolutionary science type politics. You can't just say it's there, oh, we can make it. Show me in any way, shape, or form you could get identity politics people to take up a gun and start fighting, even though they are overwhelmingly liberal, overwhelmingly support the Democratic Party, and absolutely refuse to do violence. They outright reject it. Usually the same old crap of like, oh well, then we're just as bad as them. Mason, you can't just pretend something is there when it's not. Your position is incorrect. You want a revolutionary potential to be there, but it is not there, and that's the problem. You're just presupposing the first world to be revolutionary when all of history has shown us the opposite. It is the more backward countries who've been revolutionary. Marx said revolution would come from the working class of the advanced industrialized nations. Name one country that actually did that. The answer is none. They have all come from the more backward countries. Russia was far more backward, and the revolution couldn't have been done without the peasantry. China hadn't even made it to capitalism yet. Korea, Vietnam, these places were never industrialized. You are just claiming they're revolutionary with nothing to back it up, but also with all revolutionary history showing the opposite of what you claim. Thank you for watching. Won't you go ahead, rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media. And if you want, you can head over to my Patreon page and show your support. Or you could head over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.